Welcome back, everybody, to the Naver Star League here live at the Nexon Arena. It is, of course, 2015. My name is Valdez. With me is Moonglade. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Valdez. I'm feeling a lot better than when I did on Tuesday.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's really good. You were very, very sick, but now you're back to your true form.
Back to my true form, indeed. The passion is real, and here we go with the Zerg player of today. It is Rogue. And he has been playing fantastic except for his game where he got cheesed out by MyuNgSiK on Tuesday.
Yeah. One of the strongest Zerg players that we do have here in Korea. We're getting a look at his 3-0 victory over Sulky in the round of 32. Made it look easy. Did it quite fast. I remember you and Wolf were casting this game. Yeah,
Sulky's a little too predictable in this matchup. He goes for just a few too many like hatch firsts, for instance, and he just gets cheesed out time and time again. So, a nice and easy win for Rogue. And, I mean, if you want to go back even further than this, he defeated Zest and Hurricane in the SSL qualifiers. And he's been doing very well for himself against Protoss in general. So I think he's pretty confident in this matchup, to say the least. And he should be more than confident against someone like MyuNgSiK, so long as he doesn't get teased out again.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned a little bit earlier on was how angry he looked when he lost to MyuNgSiK. I think it's just because he knew he messed up, or he didn't scout it, and he was just not ready for it. And I don't think that's going to happen again today. He's going to be super prepared for anything that MyuNgSiK can throw at him. I think we're going to see a very all-in two-base kind of cheese, or just some kind of all-in out of MyuNgSiK at least once in this series.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And here we go with MyuNgSiK, defeated San 3-0 in the Challenger, which is a pretty great accomplishment. Absolutely, fantastic work for him there. You can see it now.
Yeah, his decision-making in this matchup actually was so strong that I was really happy to see him play again in the next games, but he came out time and again in Pro League and just did not look that good.
Yeah, he's been doing, I put down terrible in Pro League.
In all caps.
In all caps, because he has not been doing very well. He has won, I believe, his last 2 games, but he essentially cheesed his last 2 games, which I feel like takes a little bit of the credit away from those victories. It's they're not really hard earned; they're just well executed, which is very important for Pro League. I mean, you have to get your research down. You've got one game, one chance to make it right, and he does it very well. But when it comes to a best of 3 against someone like Rogue, I don't know if that's possible.
Yep. He looked good against San there, but Rogue is another level of play, I have to say. And just going into the map bans and picks here for Rogue, he does ban out Merry-Go-Round, which is pretty surprising, and then Foxtrot Laps. And then from MyuNgSiK, he does ban out Nimbus and Deadwing, 2 very big maps. Not surprised there.
Yeah, banning out Deadwing. That's interesting, I feel, for a Protoss player, because generally Protosses don't hate this map as much as the others, and I mean, same for Rogue, but banning out Merry-Go-Round. Obviously, someone against MyuNgSiK who is probably more inclined to go for a 2-base timing, sort of rush all-in / anything, maybe more inclined to play on that map and do something a little cheesy.
Well, just in the map pool that we have 2 two-player maps in King Sejong Station first, and then Overgrowth. Then we're going to go into Catalina if it gets to it in the 3rd set, which is a bit bigger, a 3-player map there. Pretty good maps from MyuNgSiK, I feel.
Not bad. I think the first map is pretty good for Rogue, though, because he will be able to defend a little bit easier against just about anything. You can definitely drag the game to the mid-game a lot easier as Zerg on this map. And here we go.
Here we go, indeed. Set number 1 on King Sejong Station. Match number 2 here in Group C. It's going to be Rogue versus MyuNgSiK in a ZVP at the Naver Star League. Let's get into it. Down here in the bottom right in the red, the Zerg player, the only one we've got in this group. It is Rogue.
Defeated Classic and Hero in Pro League already this season. And up here in the top left, we have MyuNgSiK Prime. What does he have planned today, Valdez, is what everyone wants to know. That hairstyle, not entirely sure.
You can't really tell off the hair, I guess. And Rogue, very smartly here, I like this actually, goes for a very fast drone scout. Wants to see if cannons are coming his way. Just going to do this, throw down a hatch first, be safe with it. King Sejong Station, pretty famous, as are most two-player maps, for PvZ, with pretty famous for doing those forge rushes with the cannons at the natural.
Yep, great cannoning sort of map. And I do like this nice and fast this drone scout's going to see where that gateway is. The classic kind of Wings of Liberty style, early Wings of Liberty style gateway on the ramp with the Cybercore next to it and probably a Zelt to block it off.
Yeah, he's going to be able to come down here and block the natural as well. If he saves up some resources, he could actually put down a hatch of his own and be annoying. But MyuNgSiK responding pretty well to this. Already has two probes on the case, getting that drone out of there.
Yeah, and it looks like he will go for the pool. Not going to go for double hatch before pool. When you have a probe scouting that early, it can still be a problem. Try and get it down that quick.
Yeah. MyuNgSiK scouting no gas so far for Rogue, so that speed is going to be a bit later than if he got the gas before the pool. And MyuNgSiK with this build, it's actually quite fast. It's not Nexus first, but it's gateway into Nexus, so you can go straight into a Cybernetics core, get that tech up decently fast off of 2 bases.
Yeah, just the gases are a little bit slower with this kind of build, going kind of gasless gate into Nexus. But yeah, it does give you the option to wall off the top of your ramp as well. I mean, doing this against, I guess, a player like Life would be pretty opportune, pretty good idea, because obviously Life likes to go for those 9 pills now and then, and this would pretty much solve that problem.
Nice Overlord positioning here by Rogue. It's kind of the most common one you see. It sees that front of the base for the Protoss, and it sees the exact timing of the Cybernetics core. So he's going to know when to possibly send in another Overlord scout for a scout, and just to see what kind of tech is coming his way. Usually Protosses will put that in the main base, not show it at the ramp.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have Protoss players kind of ballsy enough to throw down a Stargate right in the there you go.
Speaking of which,
Stargate right in the block. I mean, it's not going to do much good when there's an Overlord sitting on top of it, but maybe he has something else planned for it. Wouldn't it be funny if we saw him do the exact same thing to Rogie did in Pro League, going for that,
yeah, man,
that Oracle into Gateway rush?
Could definitely happen. And Rogue channeling a bit of life here, able to get a kill onto 1 probe with just 2 lings. He's gotten into the main base now, but with the Stalker out, not going to get much damage done here. Just going to scout the rest of the base, sees nothing. Doesn't really need to see much.
And judging by, I mean, it makes sense more if it was a Phoenix, but let's wait. I think it is going to be Oracle. Phoenix, okay. Yeah, it's going to be Phoenix because obviously the Overlord can see it. So you probably just want to make Phoenix to kill the Overlord, gain that map control, pick off what you can. Phoenixes are still very good. And Rogue has seen exactly what is coming in there.
Yeah. With these Phoenixes, there are 3 Overlords out on the map he could possibly kill. 1 is heading towards the main, it looks like. Now it is going back along that left wall, not heading towards the main. And second Phoenix going to come out here. So maybe commit to 5 Phoenixes, maybe transition into some other tech. Pretty common strategy from the Protoss player.
Yeah, definitely one we don't see as much these days. Going Phoenix into, you know, like Robotech is generally something you used to see a lot more. Oh, he just missed it. Oh, he's going to find it after wall. Oh. Unlucky there. And there's our Robo going down.
There's the Robo. MyuNgSiK, I feel like, kind of going back to his roots. Used to be a guy who used to love to do this against Zerg. Just go for Phoenixes, control the map, maybe take a 3rd base with some tech. But we do see 2 gates, as well as a Forge and a Robo coming down before that 3rd base. And the 3rd Overlord is going to be found and killed now.
Yep. Doing some nice work with these Phoenixes. I mean, 3 Overlords, definitely worth it. And we are only seeing 1 Spore on each base for Rogue so far. And it's just like it's going to sit on 4 Phoenix for now, but those 4 Phoenix can get a lot of kills on drones. this kind of situation. With only being 2 spores, you can't cover everything. You certainly can't cover both gases with 1 spore. And we will see MyuNgSiK kind of look for that opportunity, as well as going for any overloads that are stray.
Yep, he's going to get 1. Will he commit to a second one? He's taking damage from a queen and the spore. He doesn't quite get it there. He was trying to micro his way, but not quite.
Yeah, we're seeing that robotics being added nice and early as well. This is essentially like, yeah, this is like the old sort of style that we used to see, going Phoenix into Colossi, into a delayed third base. Makes you pretty immune to anything that can come early, unless you have like a really bad position with your Colossi. And from there, I mean, we are seeing Hydras being added into the map with Group Spines. I wonder if we are going to see Rogue go for some aggression, some pressure perhaps, into a tech switch.
Could definitely head into that. I also like the job done here by Rogue, making the Overseer and going for the additional scout, because when you're going against MyuNgSiK, you could be going against literally everything. That could be like a very late open third into some kind of weird all-in. Like, you just never know with MyuNgSiK. You just have to check. And he gets the full scout, sees just the third base coming down, and he may decide to put on aggression like you were saying with a lot of these Hydras that are coming out before the Colossi get out.
Well, Colossi should be out by the time these Hydras get here. At least 1 should be out, and plus 1 should be finished. So Zealot's going to be doing very well against Zerglings. Colossus should be doing absolutely fantastic against Hydras. We are seeing a 4th base Rogue go down in the middle. Same time. And it's going to be Infestation Pit as the follow-up. So, yeah, I expected as much. A little bit harder to go into a sort of a muta switch if there's Phoenixes already out in the map. And these Phoenixes, you know, they're finding a lot of kills. 7 drone kills. This is the problem with only going 1 spore on each base. It leaves a lot of open exposed drones, especially on the gas.
Yeah. I wonder if Rogue is going to go for this. He does have those Zerglings in position, but it looks like he's just going to go straight for the third. Possibly draw the army back over there while going for the back rocks. The Phoenixes are out on the map, possibly trying to scout those Hydras, but have not found them just yet.
All right, so no Enduring Locust, so it is going to be the Viper tech that he's going to be going to in Hive. Not a bad choice, a great follow-up, especially if he can get something done with these Hydras from the back. But we already see MyuNgSiK's army in position, so he will not be getting too much done. Not even going to commit. Ooh, that extra shot on the pylon cost him 3 Hydras.
Yeah, and he didn't even get that pylon. 2 more drones do go down, possibly to the Phoenixes.
And some more Overlords as well. Phoenixes are they're really paying for themselves. This is MyuNgSiK we haven't seen in a while, you know. Like, we haven't seen him just play a straight-up macro game like this, where he's actually comfortable going to 3 base, possibly more, you know, bringing it to the late game. And he's doing great multitask work with the Phoenix. He's finding way too much damage with them.
Yeah, man. MyuNgSiK going to even put up a wall there at the back rocks just to make sure no Zerglings can run by. Something that the Zerg can abuse on this map is just sending Zerglings everywhere. Run into the main. Possibly. 7 more gates in total off of 3 base. He is also adding a Templar Archives.
Definitely gearing up for something. And Templar Archive is going to help so much against these Vipers. I mean, the moment you can warp in a Templar, you can feedback, and that's what you need against Vipers. You don't need Storm. The Storm would also do amazingly well against this kind of army that we see Rogue making. When you got nothing but Roach Hydra, definitely one of their biggest weaknesses would be Storm and Colossi.
Yeah. Do you see the +2 about 2/3 done for Rogue? Wonder if he's going to wait for that in the attack. Does look like he is posturing up here. He's nearing that max. Maybe he wants to get a nice concave as you can on this map and just pull in some Colossi, maybe drop that amount down. But again, the High Templars are super important here for the feedbacks. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, they are in position. We might actually see some blinding clouds. Oh, 2 get feedback instantly. Perfect time warps. Force field's a little bit off. Does claim a lot of that army. We are seeing Rogue go for a fast remax. And there was a nice blinding cloud, but still not enough.
Even the Phoenix is in the air doing a bunch of damage to the Vipers, forcing him to back off. And now Rogue, he's on the run.
Rogue has been completely red. He's in a very awkward position. I mean, those two feedbacks just doing way too much. Nice blink forward.
And that is so many stalkers. Rogue for now just rerouting his army, possibly going for a backdoor attack at the third. Whereas MyuNgSiK is just going for it, possibly at this fourth base. Could see a bit of a base trade situation, but I think this might go better for Rogue.
Yeah, it should. Well, I mean, we already see MyuNgSiK taking down the fourth base. And we are going to see the third base, at least, of MyuNgSiK go down. A lot of roaches knocking on the back door of the natural, but still, that is such a fearsome army that we do see from MyuNgSiK. And it's starting to knock on the natural door of Rogue now.
MyuNgSik's got to get some probes out, actually. Is that big line walking across the map some probes, or just stalkers?
That's stalkers, man.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a problem for sure. MyuNgSik's got to be careful with this. There's definitely one way to lose this game as a Protoss. You're not, as any race, if you're not taking care, not bringing your workers onto the map. It'd be a shame we did see 1,000 minerals not be used from MyuNgSiK in a base trade scenario.
Yeah. But for now, Rogue, he's taking out the natural and the third, and he's coming back with his entire army. He's got 3 spines in the main. Well, not his entire army. Some roaches over here will get cleaned up by the stalkers. But Rogue looking to go for a bit of a sandwich possibly against his Protoss army.
Seems like already MyuNgSik's ready for it. He has read it. He does have a lot of force fields in his army. I think at least 3, perhaps 4. We don't see any Vipers. A lot of Vipers actually got picked off from Phoenix as the Vipers were trying to consume. And he does have enough for a recall now.
That he does. Not much to recall back to. He's only got 1 base, which is probably soon mining out here.
Yeah, he really just spent the rest of his money on fighting units. And there we go. There's a recall.
There's the recall, but I don't know. I don't know. He could take another base right now. He does have the minerals for it.
He could just kill at this point. I mean, looking at what we see from Rogue, he does not have much. He's making 4 Vipers, which are going to be crucial for the next fight. But will he have them out in time? Will they have enough energy? We're just see Rogue kind of move towards the middle of the map, exactly where MyuNgSiK is.
Rogue is looking to fight possibly here. I think he needs a little bit more time. Wait for those Vipers to come out like we were saying.
Yeah, he definitely needs these Vipers. He needs to have a way to deal with these Colossi and this massive ranged army. I mean, Blinding Cloud would do so much work. There isn't any Templar left. He can make this work if he gets the Vipers out in time. MyuNgSik's not going to give him that time, though.
Vipers are out now. Does he go for pulls? Yes, he does. No Blinding Clouds, though, and a big blink forward, actually, into the whole army of the Zerg. And like you said, it doesn't look like as much here for Rogue. He's actually going to go down to this.
Yeah, there's simply not enough left, and he's down almost 100 supply at this point. GG.
Wow.
MyuNgSiK winning against Rogue in a macro game.
Not something I expected to see. MyuNgSiK really turning it around here. Maybe just deciding in Pro League that based on the map they were going into, the better idea would just be to go for that kind of all-in on 2 base. But here, he's showing everybody today that he is also quite competent in the long game.
He is indeed. That was actually really impressive. Coach is talking to Rogue saying, "You lost to MyuNgSiK, bro." Like
he's like, "Do you want to get kicked off this team or what?" Like, no, I don't think that would actually happen. Rogue though looking quite deep in thought, though.